Hello ladies and gentlemen, again today I received a package from NuNu, and let's see what's inside. And these are a couple of new kits from NuNu. Let's check them out. First one is a new livery of Audi R8 LMS. This is the 2015 Macau FIA GT, and the livery is Qingdao, and I assume this is Qingdao beer. Oh, okay. This is the detail of parts for this kit. And the second kit is the McLaren MP4 2C, the Formula 1 kit. And this one has 2-in-1 decals, so there should be one for the fluorescent red, and then there is one for the fluorescent yellow. Let's look at the inside. Well, also there is a detail up kit. Okay, that's this is the fluorescent red decal, and that's the fluorescent yellow, or the yellow decal. We'll have a look at it in more detail later. And then also what's included is this super detailing set for the for this car, and we'll look at it a bit later one by one. Okay, let's look at the new Audi R8 kit first. This is a 2015 Macau race livery, and it's Qingdao. Qingdao is a beer from China. And on the side we see there's the build-up model. It's the red car, and then at this end we can see the two different livery. The kit number of this particular one is PN4024. And on this side we have the paint guide, and then some description of the kit. And on this side we have the illustration of the white car. And this particular kit is actually the same kit as this one, which I already did the a preview of the parts inside. So let's look at the kit. The sprues are all the same as the previous kits, so there's no need to look at them. If you want to check out all the parts and the sprues, you can look at the video of this link here. Now the difference is definitely it's the decal. So let's look at the decal closely. Okay, for the decals we have a number of sheets. And this one is for the window trims. So this one is the same as the previous kit. This is the new decal with the new sponsors, Qingdao. Other body trims and markings are new. This is also new because of the numbers, but some of the decals are the same as the previous one, such as the instrument panels, the safety belts, etc., and some of the markings on the tires. And this is a new one with the white area of the red car. And here is the reverse of that particular painting scheme, which is the white car with the red area. This is for the white car. And then of course, if we look at the instruction in the cover, we have the illustration of the new livery. And then everything, you know, I guess the assembly of the car the steps are all the same. And the only difference is the painting guide. And this time we have guides for both versions of the car. Unlike last time, we only had the red one. This time we have the red one and also the white ones. So it's easier for us to decal for both versions. Otherwise, it's the same as the last kit. So here's the new NuNu Audi R8 LMS kit with the new 2015 Macau race livery. Now, what we did not have a chance to look at is the detail of parts for this particular car, and this time I received a pack of the parts. So let's look at the detail of parts closely. Okay, first of all, we have ribbon for the safety belt, and then here is a machined part for the antenna, and then that's the a wire for the antenna. And of course we have a large sheet of photo etch. That's the disc brake, some of the hose fastener, some of the wire meshes, and then the grill, and then major parts of the rear wings, and also belt buckles for the safety belts, etc. And the etching is very nice and crisp, and it's a pretty strong piece of metal, so it's looking very nice. And then we have some of the carbon fiber. This one is for the seat, and more decals for the carbon fibers. You can tell this is the door panel, the rear wings, and the front spoiler, and some of the driver's compartment. And then we have the instructions. So we will have the bottom part of the car fully carbon fibered, and then the photo etch for the brake disc, and then of course the wire mesh for the radiators, straps for the fire extinguisher, and also the carbon fiber for the instrument panel, top of the instrument panel, the Cummings, and then of course the safety harness. And then we have the safety belt, more carbon fibers, the ring for the knock nut of the wheel, and then the front grille, and then the windshield wiper. And of course we have the engine panel fastener, also the front hood fastener, and some of the spoilers, and then of course the rear wings, both the end plates and also the support. And then lastly we have the antenna. And that's the new Audi kit and the detail of set from NuNu. And then next we come to the new McLaren MP4 2C Formula 1 kit from NuNu. And also what I have is the detail up set for this particular kit. Now let's look at the kit. On the box cover we can see the special livery that features in the 1986 Portuguese Grand Prix for the MP4 2C, driven by Keke Rosberg, and it's a yellow car instead of the normal fluorescent red car. Of course, we can see that there is also decal for the normal fluorescent red car, livery. And on the side, we can see the build-up model. And then on the end of the box, we feature the two illustrations from the main cover. And the kit number of this particular kit is PN20001. And we also have the paint guide and then some information about the model. And then as we open the kit, we can see that, that's the body and the bottom tray. Here is the side panel and the rear wing, the wheels, and also some the radiator, part of the radiator. And then we have the tires, and then the clear parts, and then a few screws. And lastly, we have the monocoque and other part of the car, the brake disc, and also the suspension, the engine, etc. And then here is instruction. And then obviously there's the decal. We can see that there's the yellow and there's the fluorescent red. Let's look at the parts. First of all, let's look at the main body. Molding is very nice. And then we have the bottom tray. That's a fuel ejection mark. Overall, it's quite nicely detailed, except the you can see the mold. It's not polished, so we have some of the texture remain on the kit, and I suppose those are the texture that we can see in the real car. And then the next two sprues are the side panel, the molding is very nice, and you can see the we can see all the details of the where the rivet should go on the end plates of the wings. And there's a few ejection marks on the parts, but I think that can be easily eliminated by sanding. And here are the wheels. And then the structure for the radiators. And then here on this large sprue we have the engine and the gearbox. Part of the suspension, the anti-roll bar, and then here we have the disc brakes. And then we have the monocoque. And you can see that the monocoque is again nicely textured to to simulate the carbon fiber that was used, or actually wasn't carbon fiber, it's more like a honeycomb kind of carbon structure for this particular era of Formula One cars. And of course we have the cam cover, very nicely engravings molded on. And then we have this particular sheet, this particular sprue, we have the more of the suspension structures, the exhaust, and then the radiators, and the driver's seats, the turbo complex, and the cooling duct for the disc brake, and more suspension, and the upright, and more cooler, or the radiator for the turbos. And then of course the electronic computers, main computer part. Lastly we have the tires, some of the screw for the wheel, and then the tires. The tire has good details on the side walls and also the surface of the tires. This is the front tires. Same amount of details. And then lastly we have the clear parts, the windshield and also the brake light. And then we come to the decals. Now there's a small sheet of metal transfer. I think this is for the rear view mirror. And this small sheet contains of the tire markings, the numbers, and some other main sponsors logo, and then the safety belts. And then we come to the two main sheets of different color, different livery for the two different cars. One is number one, one is number two. Number one was driven by Alain Prost. Number two was driven by Keke Rosberg. And the fluorescent red looks very nice. Yellow is just a rich yellow. So there's some debate about what yellow the car actually use. It's for the light cigarettes, so which should be gold on the packaging. So we don't know whether most photo shows the car in yellow, but as we all know, some of the actual color cannot show up in photographs. So that may be the correct color. Okay, lastly we come to the instruction. Well, as usual, we have fixed format from NuNu for the instruction. On the top we feature the illustration of the car. Then we have a short description of the history of the car. And then in the bottom we have some warning and tips about building the kits. And when we open up, on the page 1 we have the color call-out for the paint, and then some tips on assembling the model. And then to start the assembly, first we build the engine. Here are some requirements to drill out some holes, and then these are the coloring of the parts of the engine, and then the assembly of the engine. Then we follow with completion of the engine with the suspension arms. Then we come to the air injector and the oil cooler tank, and then the rear panels of the body, and then we have the assembly of the rear suspension, and then the exhaust pipes. In step 5, first we paint the bottom tray, and then we assemble the front suspension complex. Then we assemble the brake disc on step 6. Step 7 is the driver's seats and some of the electronic pieces, and also the anti-roll bar. And then step 8 is the instrument panel and the steering wheel. Step 9, we have the completion of the bottom tray, including the radiator fixtures and the turbocharge complex, and then the assembly of the engine and the gearbox and the rear suspension onto the bottom tray, and then the rear brake and the air ducts for the rear brakes. On step 11, we have the assembly of the oil tank, the radiator for the oil tank, and then step 12 is the radiator, and also some of the detail parts on the cockpits. Then step 13 is the assembly of the wheels, and also the indication of where the marking decals should go, and then the installing of the wheels onto the bottom tray, and then the rear wing assembly. And step 15 is the front cowling with the front wing assembly. Step 16 is the rear buckets of the cockpit, and then the extra part add on to the outlet of the air cooling duct. And on part 18 is the assembly of the side panel onto the main body panel, and then we have the complete model. And then we have the illustration of the decal placement, and then the list of the sprues and also the decals. And that's the instruction. All in all, it's a very nice kit of the MP4 2C F1 car from McLaren. As we all know, NuNu had already produced a couple of other versions of the same car, mainly MP4 2 and also MP4 2B. But under a different name, under B-Max. Now they call themselves NuNu. They changed their brand. And instead of Aoshima, now it's distributed by Plaza, different distributor. And that's the kit. And I also received the detail parts for this particular kit. And let's look at it closely. First of all, we can see that that's a sprue filled with hose fittings, and it comes in chrome. And all we need to do is to paint the parts clear blue and pure red to get the exact replica of those hose connectors. Except they are very small, and I don't know how strong the plastic is to hold up to the tension of the tubing that we fit into these kind of fittings. And then we come to the main content of the detail up set. Okay, that's a thick piece of metal edge parts for the rear wing side panel and also the front wing side panel. And then a large photo edge fret contains some of the body fasteners, some of the wire meshes for radiators and cooling ducts, some metal fitting on the bottom tray for the exhaust, and also the belt buckles for the safety harness. This is the metal part of the monocoque, and then some other radiator meshes and fittings, such as hexagon nuts. So it's a very nice piece of photo edge frets. And then we have the additional decal for the special graphics for the body main color panels. Now I call these sheet the naughty decals. It comes in the separate parts and letterings, so we have to do some reconstruction ourselves. And then we have some carbon fiber decals. One of the particular pattern for this car's carbon fiber is these very special textures which NuNu had produced in gloss and matte texture pattern. So maybe we don't need to texturize the parts to get the right texture on the carbon fiber. There's one sheet, two sheets, three sheets, and 4 sheets of carbon fiber decals. So that's quite a bit of carbon fiber decals. And then we have the metal stickers. Then we have the ribbon for the safety belt, and then a pattern for cutting up the foil stickers. We can stick the pattern onto the back of the foil stickers and then cut it directly from there. And then lastly we have the instruction for the detail up parts, and there are like 2.5 sheets of paper. Okay, in step 1 is the replacement of the rear wing support and the towing hook for the car. And then here are a couple of parts for the mounting of the engine mounts, and some label on the air injector, and then some stickers or decals for the rear side body panels. Step 5 is the wire mesh for the main bottom tray, and then we have the full instruction on the decaling of the bottom tray. This is the top, and then we have the bottom, and also the photo edge parts for the protection of the exhaust panel at the bottom of the tray. And here are a couple of metal pieces for the suspension, the rear suspension, and then the metal cover for the brake. This is the brake disc, and then the decal for the cooling duct for the brakes. And then the carbon fiber decals for the main monocoque. Here is the metal parts for the top of the tank compartment, the gas tank compartment. And then this is the front part of the monocoque. And then the carbon fiber decal for the driver's seats. the assembly of the safety harness, and then some detail parts on inside the cockpit, more carbon fibers, metal sheets, metal sticker for the monocoque, the firewall where the firewall of the engine is, and then photo etch parts for the radiators. Here is carbon fiber decals for the radiator ducts. And step 9 is more carbon fiber for the radiator supports, the brake disc, the carbon fiber for the cooling ducts for the brake, wire mesh for the radiator, and then these are also metal parts for the radiator openings. This is, I don't know whether it is the gurney's flap, and then the decals, carbon fiber decals for the rear wings. Of course, the side plate of the rear wings are photo etched metal parts, and then again the front wing assembly, photo etched parts, and also the carbon fiber decals on the bottom of the front winglets, carbon fiber decals for the inside of the cockpit area, and this is the inside area of the side body panels. And some of these the core bonus parts are the fasteners that's on the rear wing plates or the front wing plates as well. And then lastly, we have the special pattern for the two different different liveries, trimming it into the chevron graphics for the special sponsor. Okay, there you have it. The new release from NuNu, the McLaren MP4 2C Formula 1 car kit with the super detail upset. Overall, it's a very nice kit, and especially with the detail upset, it can be built into a very nice replica of the car. So I hope you all like it, and I cannot wait to build this up. Once again, thank you for NuNu sending me the two new kits and also the detail upset. You can order these kits and detail upset from hobbyeasy.com, and maybe some of your local model shop will have them in stock. And once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.